All right, I'm kind of pushing it here with this one. This is going to be a lot more complicated than any of the other ones I've done in the past. That is I kept calling them light catchers in the past. I'm not sure if that necessarily is the proper term here because I think those light catchers are like those crystal doohickeys that you see hanging from people's rearview mirrors, and they catch the sun and shine it right back in your eyes when you're driving behind them on the road. So, I guess that's not this, right? This is more like I'm trying to mimic some stained glass with the 3D printer, and this one obviously is going to be a fish, and pushing it a little bit because the level of detail and intricacy is a magnitude, several magnitudes higher than the other simple, sort of blocked out basic shapes that I was working with in the past. I really liked the way that image came out and caught my eye. I was wondering if I could pull it off in that little disc format that I've been doing. And we're going to give it a shot here. And this is compressed into, I think this is like a couple of sessions getting this done. All these Bezier, or these curves, all these blender curves in place. Several hours of work, I would say, but it ended up looking pretty decent, pretty cool. And this kind of expands my horizons, or um, I don't know how you'd phrase it, but it sort of expands my understanding of what you could accomplish doing this insofar as complexity and detail. I do already have a bunch of new images lined up, ready to roll. I don't know what that big black pause was, but we'll work through it. And anyway, I got some more complicated images ready to go, a little more fantasy oriented. This has just been kind of general audience stuff that you might see, sold at a supermarket or Walmart or something, some kind of goofball decorations. And I'm gonna go follow my muse a little bit more, doing some fantasy work. Because I think something like this would lend itself to some fantasy stuff, especially with that stained glass look. Um, I have them just about ready to work after this. I do have a couple more projects I want to accomplish before I get back to this. I have in mind to come up with a whole library of these things so I can have them ready. My aim is to try to uh, sell some of these at the farmers market when it warms up a little bit and try that out and see how it goes. I still have a bit of time because it's unusually cold way down here. I don't like it. All right. And I got all those scales done. Now we're going to do the cut. Whoop, we got to do the fin. And see, some of that fine detail is kind of a judgment call on what I want to use. Because I guess I could have gone crazy and got every little ridge and ripple on that fin. That might not translate very good on the print or even work out very good. But just kind of focusing on what might look like some of those larger shapes, I guess. And the fin, I think as you can see, this is crazy tedious. And with this, it actually printed out fairly fast. I used almost, I have 8 slots for the color printer for the color multi-material doohickey system, and I used almost all of them. Almost all of them would be what, 7? I used not all, almost all, 7 slots, and it actually went at a fairly decent clip. Maybe 4 hours to do one of these things on the printer. And if anything takes off and I can really start making these things, Might consider another printer just to sort of crank them out. But it's a slow build up. I'm testing the waters. I want to go spending a lot of money just yet. I'd love to go spend a lot of money. I just don't have a lot of money to spend on nonsense. Not that it would be nonsense, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Zipping through that tail. Almost there. It's looking pretty good. And I'm thinking there's got to be probably a more efficient way to do this, but I'm a work hard, not smart kind of guy. All right. Now I'm going to try and do that cut. And then we got our basic cut. And each one of those shapes is going to be an individual shape just to add to the tedium of trying to color it. And I'm giving it a sort of a prototype shape or paint job here in Blender. And I'm going to add that to my library of things. There we go. And that's hopefully what Bamboo Studio, here we come. So I imported that thing, and it's a bunch of individual shapes, and I needed to do that so I can keep them all individually colored. I don't need to do that, but I had some weird outcomes when I didn't make it all individual shapes. Like the filament would bleed in with the neighbor filament, and it didn't quite go for didn't quite look like what I was going for. All right, so this is the final result, and I did a couple different versions of these, just swapping out the color on the rolls, swapping the rolls out on the material management system, and it turned out pretty good, better than I expected. Yeah, the scales came out, yeah, that little fine little detail without breaking or separating, and this is kind of what I had in mind for it. So it's always dark out by the time I'm doing this stuff, and I would hold that up to the sun, and you'd hopefully get something like that. Or maybe you could actually make light bulb covers. So there you go. There's our final result. If you stuck around this long, I greatly appreciate it, and I will keep cranking this stuff out. Thanks for your time.